Yeah, just it's only one pop.
Okay.
We need that little bag thing.
So Joseph asked if I would like to sing in church, and my eyes kind of went wide. I actually grew up in church, singing in choirs, and I was the music leader at a church in South Africa for several years, 20 years ago. So this is a homecoming of sorts. It has been a long time, but I'm very happy to be here with you all. And the two songs that I've chosen are both love songs, which is kind of strange because I'm very single. And yet they just kept coming back to me. The first song is called Afterglow, and often my elderly client enjoys spending as much time outdoors as possible. So we often sit on a bench and watch the sunset behind the mountains. And after the sunset, there's the gorgeous pink and orange and just this beautiful afterglow that remains. And we just sit there stunned saying, this is so beautiful, so wonderful to be alive. And both of the songs also talk about light and darkness. And during times of war and upheaval in the world, I've really been thinking about that and how to be light just in my home and in my community, my small piece here on the planet, to be light in the darkness. So that's why I chose those songs. Stop the clocks, it's amazing. You should see the way the light dances off your head. A million colors of hazel, golden and red. Saturday morning is fading. The sun's reflected by the coffee in your hand. My eyes are caught in your gaze all over again. We were love drunk, waiting on a miracle, trying to find ourselves in the winter snow. So alone in love, like the world had disappeared. Oh, I won't be silent and I won't let go. I will hold on tight until the afterglow, and we'll burn so bright till the darkness softly clears. Oh, I will hold on to the afterglow. Oh, I will hold on to the afterglow. The weather outside's changing. The leaves are buried under 6 inches of white. The radio is playing iron and white. This is a new dimension. This is a level where we're losing track of time. I'm holding nothing against it except you and I. But we were love drunk, waiting on a miracle, trying to find ourselves in the winter snow. So alone in love, like the world had disappeared. Oh, I won't be silent and I Oh, I will hold on to the afterglow. Oh, I will hold on to the afterglow. Oh, I will hold on to the afterglow. Oh, I will hold on to the afterglow.
Anna.
Yes.
Okay. Now, you haven't been here before, and you know, in regular church, the idea is to sit down and shut up as soon as possible. But that isn't what happens here at every day.
Okay.
We appreciate our guest musicians so deeply, and your song is so beautiful. May we please show Anna an everyday thank you. I know it's hard, but you can get used to it by the next time you're here. All right, I'll let you go now. I think it'll be perfect. That's my idea for today. Is I think it'll be perfect. I agree. So good morning, every day.
Good morning, Rev Ann.
And for those of you who don't know, I'm Rev Ann Rea, and I get to be in service with this community that is amazing and continues to grow in its amazingness, which of course is a real word. I get to serve as its community spiritual poobah. Ha! I fooled you! Senior minister poobah. What a day this is today. The first Sunday of the new year. Wowie zowie. And what I am enjoying in particular about this Sunday is that we kind of got to rev up to it. You know, we got to start with New Year's Day and just kind of rev up to be ready for today. Now, why in the world would today be something that we need to be ready for? Well, you know, I'm going to say that every day is something we need to be ready for. We need to be ready to welcome the good that it brings. We need to be ready to offer the good that we are. And as Anna so sweetly spoke about being the light, which is something that we talk about here all the time. Boy, are you home? We need to be ready. You know, it's not like we aren't that all the time. What it's more like is we're in our pajamas. So we aren't exactly ready for company. And we aren't necessarily, as we're padding around in our pajamas, well, I'll just speak for myself. I'm not necessarily, as I'm padding around in my pajamas and my favorite slippers, I'm not necessarily ready to bring my best self to whatever the next moment presents. Because I'm padding around in my pajamas. And they're comfy. And I like it. Now, what's that got to do with this one life? Only everything. You know, Carol Rose, who is our practitioner on duty today, who read that both of the very important things from the Science of Mind magazine, both from the Declaration of Principle, which is what it's called more formally, and also Eugene Holden's writings. I love him too. What she didn't know was that she was actually mind reading. Because last night I was thinking, oh my God, I really meant to ask the practitioners to read from the Declaration of Principles this month. True that. And so it just shows that the power of mind goes way beyond our ability to use it to change circumstance. Traditionally, in centers like this, in spiritual centers like this, that teach and practice new thought and new thoughts and the power of having new thoughts. In January, and last year I think I did it in February instead just to mix things up, but in January, for I have no idea how many decades, we have been talking about what is covered in the first 4, I call them chapters. They're actually segments of the book called The Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes. And now, it is not, and this is the reason, I want to explain to you, this is the reason I did not bring my copy of the Science of Mind textbook this morning, is because it looks like a Bible. It's leather bound, it has my name embossed on the cover. It was a gift to me when I was welcomed into ministry. And I don't want anybody to confuse the Science of Mind or any other writing by Ernest Holmes or any other writing that we refer to in this teaching. I don't want anybody to get confused that we think that's the Bible.
Right.
We don't.
Right.
We think that it is a teaching with merit. It's a philosophy with merit.
Yes.
And when practiced, which I call experimentation, when experimented with, because we don't necessarily want to jump right into a practice.
Right.
We like to experiment with things to see how it goes.
Yeah.
And that's a very successful way of working our way into New Thought philosophy. At any rate, the tradition is to talk about those first 4 segments in the Science of Mind textbook, what we refer to as the Science of Mind textbook, which is, even though Ernest Holmes wrote a plethora of material, that is the one thing that he wrote that is considered to be the greatest collective of what he was about. And what he was about was, and Denise, you really need to time me today because I could go on and on. I was teaching a class about this or something. Anyway, it's a collective because he was voracious in his study of all of the great teachings, starting with pre-written history. Anything that he could get his hands on, whether it was oral teachings or someone's writings or many someone's writings, because in those days when he wrote the first version of the book, which was 1926, plagiarism wasn't a thing then. It just wasn't. It wasn't a thing. And so all of the influences that contributed to this work, that in later works he honors Ralph Waldo Emerson, Henry David Thoreau, the Transcendentalists at large, as a group. Sufi teachers, Rumi, Hafiz. I could go on with his influences. But why were these teachers of truth, why were they, as he referred to them, why would they be influential? Because he found in these teachings, whether they were Native American or Christian or Islam or Jewish, whatever they were, whatever the source was, he found in these teachings what he referred to as a golden thread.
Yeah.
And the golden thread united them all. It was a common, in those days, and I am throwing in a little facetiousness, but it was a common idea about a higher power. It was a common idea about Great Spirit, about God, about the universe. Regardless of what it was called, it showed up as these common ideas. And it began with there being one life. There being one life, regardless of what you called it. You could call it Harold. It doesn't matter. Regardless of what you called it, there is one life, one intelligence, one consciousness, one energy, all of that, and then some, that expresses, it reveals itself through its creation. Because otherwise, it would just be, and nobody would have a clue. Nobody, there wouldn't be an Ernest Holmes who would wonder. There wouldn't be a Ralph Waldo Emerson who would ask those questions. There wouldn't be a Sufi teachers like Rumi and Hafiz who would find in nature and find in the human spirit the indistinguishable from that which is holy. It wouldn't be. So when you hear the words that there is one life, whether I'm speaking them or someone else is, that there is one life, and it is all life. We aren't just talking about human. We're talking about all of creation. Which means that the idea of sentient and unsentient or non-sentient beings does not exist.
Right.
Because everything is living and everything is alive with this life. So if you see people like me hugging a tree or a rock or praising the snow or whatever the case may be, or having a field day because the yard is full of all these gorgeous birds who don't have anything better to do than eat while it's snowing. It's all that life happening.
Yeah.
So, this one life is, I'll use other words that may be more familiar or make more sense, is creator, the activity of creating, and the creation itself. So it isn't something, that just sits on a cloud and waves a magic wand and says, oh, okay, I think right there I would like a juniper. Junipers weren't. Junipers are junipers because that is a revelation of the life of spirit. Sorry for those who have allergies. Creator, which means that this life comes up with the idea. Intelligence, energy, expressing, comes up with the idea just like we do. I come up with an idea for a new recipe for something, or a new way of approaching a subject that we've talked about a million times. At least I try to make it new for me. And you. So it comes up with the idea. It's the originating source and force. And then it plants the seeds for that idea, just like we do. Just like we do. Just like trees do. Just like flowers do. Huh? Is there some repetition here? Is there a natural rhythm? Is there a natural way of working with what is, meaning for us as well as through us? So, it is the activity of creating. By the way, the answer to that question is yes. There is a repetition, there is a duplication. It is not an accident that is how we create. We are using the opportunity to be the creator, to be engaged in the activity of creation, and then to witness and reveal the creation itself. without ever losing connection or integration with this one. Are you with me so far?
Yes.
Because this is a big dang idea.
Yes, it is.
You may have heard statements made about other religions, and we are not a religion, in case you didn't know. We're not a religion because, and this is not a judgment or a criticism, religion is too limiting because it relies on definitions.
Mhm.
Every single word I'm speaking that I'm using to give some sense, to give some feeling, to give some elemental qualities to the undefinable, they're just the best I've got. But believe me, it's not all it is. It's not all it is. It's impossible to contain all that it is in any way, including our language or anybody else's. Bless you on the truth. Okay. One more thing I want you to know before next week, because next week we're continuing this conversation. Oh, and by the way, because I happen to know there are people in the room who have been studying and practicing this philosophy for a long time. You don't have to identify yourselves. And you've read lots of books and you've listened to lots of great speakers and had conversations with people who deeply practice and know this philosophy. And still, I promise you, that by the time these 4 weeks are over, these 4 Sundays are over, you will have heard something about this philosophy and about how it works in your life and about how to use it that you did not know before.
Yes. Okay.
Or you didn't hear it that way before. Or you weren't ready to know it yet. Because any one of those things could be true. It's entirely possible that has anybody ever had the occasion where they heard something that sounded familiar, or even that they knew they'd heard before, but they didn't hear it quite that way?
Mhm.
What I know is that you are all with me in this, whether you're in the room, online, on Facebook online, you are with me in this discovery. I am open to understanding something in a new way about what I believe. Because this is what I believe. What I am telling you is not what you should believe. I'm just explaining to you about our philosophy and telling you what I believe. You're going to believe whatever you want to anyway. And that will either be great for your life or less great. Because a key proponent, is that the word I want? No. A key something. Of our philosophy is that we can change our lives for the better by changing our minds.
Yeah.
We can have a new idea or a new understanding about something and look at something entirely differently. Experience something entirely differently. And it's not just about this life. However, this life is at the center and circumference of everything.
Yeah.
So even though what I'm talking about for the next 4 weeks is this life, how it works, how it doesn't, and how we can use it, it's important for us to remember that we are, or at least consider, because this involves, we're walking right up to the edge of belief with this, with what I'm about to say. That we at least consider the possibility that the one life of which I speak, the one life of which Carol read, is ours. It lives through us. It breathes our breath. It sees through our eyes. And it experiences through our choices. That will change your life. Just knowing that will change your life. Not knowing. This is not an intellectual exercise. But integrating into how you are. How you see the world. How you see each other. How you see other. And how you think of other. Red or green chili? Israeli or Palestinian? Other. It's all one. And so it is.
So it is.
God bless you.
One of the stories that I tell about my client in my play is about how his mother's name was Anna and his stepmother's name was also Anna, and his wife's name was not Anna. But my name is Anna, and I have been his caregiver for the past 5.5 years. And sometimes on days when I'm not working, he has other caregivers, and he calls them Anna just because he wishes I was there. So I was just thinking about life expressing itself. In his life is Anna in many forms. So this is a song that in The World Beautiful, I sing as a duet with actor Don Converse, who some of you may know. He's married to Duchess Dale, and he plays the Mountaineer. And so missing him a little bit today, but I will sing it with Joseph instead. There goes my heart beating, 'cause you are the reason I'm losing my sleep. Please come back now. There goes my mind racing, and you are the reason that I'm still breathing. I'm hopeless now. I climb every mountain, swim every ocean, just to be with you and fix what I've broken. 'Cause I need you to see that you are the reason. There goes my hand shaking, and you are the reason. My heart keeps bleeding, I need you now. If I could turn back the clock, make sure the light defeated the dark, spend every hour of every day keeping you safe. I climb every mountain, swim every ocean, just to be with you and fix what I've broken. 'Cause I need you to see that you are the reason. You are the reason. You are the reason. You are the reason. I climb every